Have you ever imagined the happiest moment of your life turning into your worst nightmare? In the space of a single sentence? 1 second there's a marriage proposal. The next, a murder confession. And just like that, everything changes. Welcome back to Coronation Street Update, where today we're breaking down one of the most emotionally devastating storylines Weatherfield has delivered in years. Because Sarah Platt has finally reached the end of the road. For weeks she's carried a secret so terrifying, so emotionally crushing, that it's been slowly destroying her from the inside. But tonight, she can't hide anymore. And when Kit Green gets down on one knee, he has absolutely no idea that his entire future is about to collapse. Ever since Theo Silverton's death, Sarah has been living two completely different lives. On the outside, she's tried to smile. She's tried to act normal. She's tried to convince everyone that life can move forward. But underneath that calm exterior, she's drowning. Every conversation, every police update, every new suspect, every knock at the door, has reminded her of one terrifying reality. The truth hasn't disappeared. It's simply been waiting. And secrets like this never stay buried forever. But then everything changes. Sarah walks through the front door expecting another ordinary evening. She finds candles, romance, hope, and Kit standing there with a look that says everything. After everything they've survived together, he's finally ready. Ready to spend the rest of his life with her. Ready to build a future. Ready to ask the biggest question of all. It's the moment Sarah has always dreamed about. Yet somehow, it becomes the moment she fears the most. Because while Kit is thinking about forever, Sarah's thinking about prison. Then comes the moment nobody saw coming. Kit drops onto one knee. He pours his heart out. He tells Sarah exactly how much she means to him. He offers her a future. A family. A new beginning. For just a few seconds, time almost stands still. Sarah could say yes. She could pretend. She could continue living the lie. But guilt has become heavier than love. And that's when things take a darker turn. Instead of accepting his proposal, Sarah breaks down. The tears begin. Her voice shakes. And then she says the words that completely change everything. I killed Theo. Silence. Pure silence. One confession. One sentence. One truth. And an entire future shatters before our eyes. Imagine being Kit Green. Only moments ago, he believed this was the happiest night of his life. Now he's staring at the woman he loves, as she admits responsibility for the very murder that has haunted Weatherfield for weeks. This isn't just shocking. It's psychologically devastating. Because Kit isn't simply Sarah's boyfriend. He's a police officer. Even though he's no longer directly investigating Theo's murder. Everything he believes in suddenly collides. Love, duty, justice, loyalty. Which one wins? This is where the storyline becomes far more than a murder mystery. It's about impossible choices. Sarah isn't confessing because she's been caught. She's confessing because she's emotionally exhausted. For weeks she's carried unbearable guilt. Every lie has become another weight around her neck. Every day she's had to look into Kit's eyes, knowing he was searching for the killer. Knowing he trusted her completely. That kind of emotional pressure eventually breaks anyone. And Sarah finally reaches her breaking point. But that may not be the whole truth. Because Kit now faces a nightmare that no police officer ever wants to experience. Does he report the woman he loves? Or does he protect her? Neither option leaves him with a future. If he turns Sarah in, he loses the love of his life. If he protects her, he risks losing everything he's worked for. His badge. His career. His reputation. His freedom. Suddenly, Kit isn't chasing the killer anymore. He's protecting one. Even more fascinating is Kit's complicated relationship with Gary Windass. For weeks he has suspected Gary. He's questioned him relentlessly. He's convinced himself Gary knows more than he's saying. But now everything looks different. What if Gary wasn't covering up his own crime? What if he was protecting Sarah all along? That completely changes the emotional landscape. Because Gary's suspicious behavior suddenly becomes an act of loyalty instead of guilt. And if Kit truly loves Sarah, could he actually allow Gary to remain the prime suspect? It's a horrifying possibility. One that raises enormous moral questions. Meanwhile, Sarah's future has never looked darker. Prison isn't simply punishment. For someone like Sarah, it could completely destroy her. She's always relied on her family, her children, her support network. Strip all of that away, and she's left completely vulnerable. Even actress Tina O'Brien has hinted at the terrifying reality. Sarah would struggle behind bars. She isn't hardened. She isn't prepared. And if other prisoners discovered she was dating a police officer, her situation could become even more dangerous. Suddenly, the consequences of her confession become far more frightening than the confession itself. Psychologically, Sarah's decision is incredibly powerful. Many viewers will ask, why confess now? Why not keep lying? Because guilt changes people. First, a lie feels like protection. Eventually, it becomes a prison. Sarah has been serving her own emotional sentence long before anyone ever placed handcuffs on her. Every sleepless night, every panic attack, every fearful glance. She's already been punishing herself. Perhaps this confession isn't surrender. Perhaps it's the first honest thing she has done since Theo died. But what happens next could be even more devastating. Will Kit keep Sarah's secret? Will another detective discover the truth first? Will Gary finally reveal everything he knows? Or has Sarah's confession started a chain reaction that nobody can stop? One thing feels certain. The Theo Silverton storyline has entered its most explosive chapter. And from this point onward, no relationship in Weatherfield will ever be the same again. Here's my prediction. I don't think this confession ends the mystery. I think it begins an even bigger one. Was Sarah truly responsible? Or is she taking the blame to protect someone else? Could Gary still be hiding another secret? And what if Kit's biggest test isn't choosing between love and justice, but discovering Sarah hasn't told him the whole story? Because in Coronation Street, the first confession is rarely the complete truth. Whatever happens next, one thing is undeniable. Kit's proposal was supposed to mark the beginning of a new life. They said, it may become the moment that destroys two lives forever. And if Sarah really has confessed to killing Theo, Weatherfield's darkest chapter is only just beginning.